with me. Now we are recording. I'm sorry that it's not the presentation of Álvaro, but we can go
Don't
ahead.
worry. Don't worry.
Aníbal, would you like to say a couple of words?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Aníbal del Olmo. I'm an anthropologist also from the University of Buenos Aires. I work with Álvaro since 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, in the anthropology department team. Now I'm chief of staff of that department, and we work closely with Álvaro in many projects. I'm very happy to be here tonight. Tonight's for me, I don't know exactly your time zones.
Thank you. I know it's very late in Buenos Aires, it's 2 hours later. Maddie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm an urban studies major at the University of, or at Lang. I'm really interested in transportation, mainly getting rid of cars as much as possible and doing public transportation models.
Thank you, Maddie. Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate. I'm a media studies major with a minor in urban studies. I'm interested in how those two forms of studies intersect.
Thank you, Kate. Antoine?
Hi, I'm Antoine. I'm a junior studying urban studies and just interested in urban planning and urban design.
Thank you, Antoine. Izzy?
Hi, Izzy. I'm an environmental studies major with a minor in urban studies, and I'm interested in urban planning and specifically sustainable urban planning and design.
Thank you, Izzy. Elizabeth?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a sophomore at Lang. I'm thinking about majoring in urban studies, and I'm interested in cities in general and urban planning.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Jacob?
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm a third-year fashion design major, and I'm interested in the overlap between those two and how they can influence one another.
Thank you, Jacob. Elena?
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm a third-year urban studies major at Lang.
Thank you, Marina.
Hi, I'm Marina. I'm a major in psychology and a minor in urban design. I guess that's pretty similar to anthropological architecture if you put them together, but I'm very interested in that.
Thank you, Marina. Tracy?
Hi, I'm Tracy. I am a third-year transfer student. As a community college student, I was interested in sustainable environmental design and architecture.
Thank you. Leah?
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a second-year urban studies major, and I'm really interested in the environmental impact of cities.
Thank you. Ruby?
Hi, I'm Ruby. I'm a third year at Lang, majoring in arts and context and minoring in urban studies, and I'm interested in architecture as a vessel for ideology.
Thank you, Ruby. Liz?
Hey, I'm Liz. I'm an urban studies major, and some of my interests lie in urban studies, psychology, anthropology, and a little bit of sociology. So I'm excited to see the presentation.
Thanks. And Annabelle?
Hi, I'm Annabelle. I'm a senior at Parsons and I'm studying architecture.
Good. Well, thank you all for this round of presentations. Then Irina, Aníbal, and Álvaro can have a little idea of the interest and the students that we have in this class. Then I would like to give the floor to you. I don't know how you are organized, but it is all in your hands. And I am very interested in the possibility of our students to be able to have contact directly with professionals that they are working in policy issues. They are defining changes in the city, important changes in the public space. I was very impressed when we have some meetings some years ago with Álvaro on his work in architecture and anthropology, putting together these two fields and trying to work with them and act in the city based on this idea. And I thought that students don't have many opportunities to interview policy-making people, designers, and at the same time, academics. Then after your presentation, the students will interview you. We are all yours.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Margarita. I'm very happy to be here, not here at home, but here with you. I have to say two things. First, one is I'm sorry about my English. I have to practice more. I always say the same, but I never practice. So you have to be patient with me. And the other thing is I'm at home and I have two little kids and maybe they are going to be part of the presentation sometime. So sorry about this. You have to understand, sorry. Well, as Margarita said, Aníbal is an anthropologist and we have a vision of the city is a vision of the architecture that architecture is have to be the shape of the way of life of the people who live in the architecture. So the same is for the city. For first, sorry, Irina, can you go one before? Ahí está. We are in Buenos Aires. For you, that I don't know if you are, you have some information about Buenos Aires. We are a city, a very huge city. We have a surface of 200 square kilometers as a surface, and we have 3 million residents, but every day they come from the metropolitan area, 3.5 million more. So we are a city of 6 million people, and we are a lot of people. And another arena. And in the urban secretary, we like to say that we work in several P letters, no? In public policies, planning, projects, process, and people. And the most important P letter is the people. And for us, the people is like for the architects, the concept of when you construct a perspective, a draw, you choose a point, ¿no? ¿Cómo se dice, Margarita? Punto de fuga. Existe un término.
Point.
¿Cómo?
Vanishing point.
Yeah. So, yeah, for us, it's like a vanishing point. It's like our vanishing point. No, we start from this point to construct every public policy or every urban planning, every project, and every process that we think they are going to improve people's lives. No, so for us, our vision is an anthropology vision of the city and of the urbanism. Irina, dale otra si quieres. And we used to put into sorry, se está moviendo la presentación, perdón, Irina. Volver para atrás. Sorry, this is because. ¿Está bien acá?
It's okay.
Ahí está. Sorry. No, I'm talking about the we have two big parts of our process, work process. We have the architectural project, that is something that the architects, we are very familiar with this concept. And the other one is the architecture of the project, no? And these have two big parts, and they are the social and political aspects and the economic and financial aspect, no? Because for us, it's very important the, okay, sorry, I'm seeing with delay the presentation. That's why I, sorry. So, and it's very important for us to be clear with the most important thing of the project is the people, because at the end of the process, we are going to improve their life, not improve the city. We are improving people's lives. And cities are made by stones, and for me, they are not livable organisms that we used to say. For me, the life of the city is the people. So we are very, very, how do you say, queremos que sea very clear with that. Dale otra, Irina, si querés. So in many projects that we was working, we start working with the community, with the people, to make some consensus, ¿está bien? Acuerdos, agreements. First of all, is what we are going to do there, no? Because in the old vision of the urbanism, some professionals, we used to meet in a room, and we decide for the people what we are going to do there, no? And we never ask to the people, what do you think? What are your desires? What do you want? Why? How do you live? I don't know. What's your problem in the neighborhood? So we start meeting with the people, and we have a methodology that Aníbal is going to go deeper with this in how we talk with them, no? So, dale, Irina, si querés. First of all, we have to know there is a gap between the needs and the desires of the people, no? When you ask, what do you need? People say something, and when you ask, what do you desire? People said another thing. So there's a quite difference in the question. We are going for the desires of the people, and then the needs, maybe we are going to solve them. So I always said that when you buy an iPhone, it's a very powerful tool. There come in the box, you have another little tool, and it's a very simple tool. So for the city as a concept is a very powerful tool. We have to create new simple tools to, ¿cómo se dice? Operar, to, dale, Irina, desmuteate.
Operate.
Yeah, to operate the city. Yeah, we have to be very innovative and creative to think and create new tools. Sometimes they are very simple tools to operate the new city that we are going to be. Dale, Irina. Now, we have to, here we have a congress in the city. So every transformation that we want to do, we have to discuss, and every time that we go to the Congress, we start with an urban anthropology work. no? So we can put in words the people desires, no? And for us, this is very important. Dina? It's very difficult to no, don't worry. It's not too common that I have no words for something. This is because the English. Entonces, I have to say that we have a process that is a co-creation process, and the process is built with the community. We have some psychologists, anthropologists, landscape professionals, architects, and we have a co-creation methodology that we have tables with the people who came to the meeting, and we work with them to find the problems, the desires, the needs, and all the things that they think about the neighborhood that where they live, sorry. So that's important because we, as the city government, we are not the architect of the project. We are the who how do you say, generar el espacio, to create the space, to build the space of work and discussion and conversation with them, no? with the people, that they are the real specialists of the territory. Valerina. This is for the delay, no? The silence, sorry. And what is the most important thing that we want to extract of this process, of this kind of to do the work? Well, first of all, for me, the participation, as we know, the participation want to generate the acceptation for the other ones. For us to do something in the territory, and the urban anthropology want to generate the ownership of the people of the project. When we work together, they feel the project by his own. This picture is Fabio. Fabio is giving a dissertation of Parque de la Estación, that is a public space that we built here in the center part of the city, Station Park. This is a photo of the Station Park. And Fabio he's a landscape professional, and he's giving a class of Station Park as the owner of the maker of the Station Park. And for us, it's very important, because when you feel some public space as yours, you can, the maintenance is better, you really take care of the space because it's your space, and you can tell another one how they have to use it, and why he don't have to do this or the other thing. So this is Station Park. This was a train rail land in the center of the city, and it used to be a train building, train repairing building. And now this is a public space. We work with the community to design the program of the park, essentially, and then our architects they give the shape of these desires that we build together. Irina, si querés. Well, in the building you have a library, cultural space, and educative space. That there's the library in the top of in the right part of the screen, and we have a playground for kids, and the uses that we project, they are just the way that the people use the park today. And this is not a casual effect. Is we project not just the architecture, we project the people comportamiento, behavior, no? Behavior. Thank you, my translators. And dale, Irina, si querés. So our methodology is always the same, with some how do you say, tailor-made decision for each project. This is a Plaza José. It's just in front of the Margarita. She knows very, very good because it's just in front of the economic faculty in the Universidad de Buenos Aires University. And this is a square, a park. It used to be a park with parking in the how do you say?
Underground.
And the underground, yes, sorry. This project have the original, the underground, and the parking has my age, 41 years. And the project really don't work in synchrony with the behavior of the students in the city, because in the sector of the city, because we have the economic faculty, and also we have the medicine faculty and a hospital just around the square. Maybe in average we have 100,000 students every day walking. It's just it's Union Square in New York. Just near the not just Union Square. It's
Washington
Square. Yeah, it's like Washington Square near the new school and the NYU in Manhattan. So we work in a project that how can we accomplish the desires of the students, that is to get meetings for study and to have internet connection and drink coffee and everything as a city. So we ¿cómo se dice? Demolish the first ground of the square, and that you see in the picture is the first ground floor that we use to get retail and gastronomy no. Food court, a food court, public food court operation. And this is important to give and now I'm going to give the presentation to Aníbal. And for me, it's important to say again that we project the uses. We don't project only the shape of the project. No, we project how the people is going to use and is going to feel, is going to enjoy, is going to the behavior of the people in the space. And then the architecture is going to be the partner, the perfect partner from the anthropology study. So for me, I am going to give Aníbal the lecture, and I'm going to hear Aníbal, and I'm going to be here for the question at the end. Okay? Thank you very much. Aníbal?
Thank you, Álvaro. Well, okay, I'm taking from this point. I will talk about a little what our urban anthropology directorate does with focus in participatory design activities. Actually, we do a lot of other things. Considering what you say in your interest, we have a division inside the directorate that does social research for the city in different kind of things, especially for the projects in the Urban Development Secretariat, but also we work with other divisions of the city doing different kind of research about COVID. We did a lot of research with neighborhoods of the city. We help other divisions to think and understand how people want the public spaces to be reopened when the crisis subsides. So we work in different kind of things. The focus in this presentation is about the participatory activities. For example, when we talk with the neighborhoods, if you have in mind the public policy sequential model from the 70s, maybe you have that in mind, that it's kind of a circular model that starts with a problem, a potential solution, the adoption of that solution, the implementation, and then the evaluation. Is kind of a circular model. It's a very simple but powerful model for explaining public policies. As Álvaro said earlier, we start with people and then in the public policy, going through. It's not actually a sequential model, but we have in mind different aspects. So to start with the people at the start of the cycle of the public policies, we start working with people about a participatory diagnosis of the area of interest. Sometimes the project starts with people telling us they have an interest in something to happen. They want a park in some place, or they want a new public space of any kind, or a mix of things. So we have to work with the people and about what they want. But the first step is, what's the problem? What's actually happening here? So we work in these participatory mapping activities, trying to diagnose and have an assessment. This kind of activities have this kind of outcomes. I mean, for example, in this case, it's near Station Park. Álvaro talked earlier. It's another park called Square 66. Sorry, Manzana 66. Now, at this time, when I try to talk in English, I talk in Spanglish. Sorry. So these kind of activities help us to understand the area around the project. Not only their project area, not only our square, but what the neighbors think about their own neighborhood. What are the places that are good or bad? What are the problems, the potential menaces for the project from the environment, the opportunities, what we have to do to have a project that can thrive in that community, and what the community thinks about the implementation of our project in their own community. So this helps us to detect potential problems and opportunities, and also create some shared knowledge between the neighbors themselves, with us and with themselves. Something that Álvaro said earlier is we work with the neighbors very close. And that work makes them work together too. So between themselves, with us. So neighbors start to know each other, and a community start to get a little bit stronger. When I say community, I know in the US, the concept of community is very strong, and you have very strong communities too, with very territorial anchors. I lost with that one. But you have very strong communities, usually. In Buenos Aires, as a very big city with a lot of mobility and 3 million people, so about the population doubling every day, people enters and go out, etc. And with a lot of mobility, it's very common that people born in one neighborhood and lives in different neighborhoods through their lives. maybe the community concept is different and it works differently, and it's a little bit more ethereal than in the US on what are you used to when I say community. So community building in this kind of events is very important for us too, and works very well with the neighborhoods too. When we end this part of the participatory process and we have a shared diagnosis with the people, co-created diagnosis without the neighbors, we go to the next step, and we go through the place we are talking about, we want to work in, and start generating ideas. What do you want to happen? That's exactly what Álvaro said about desires earlier. People sometimes tell you what they want in a way, in very direct way. I want a wooden bench of 43 centimeters high with a place to rest my arms. And okay, but which is your desire exactly? What do you want, that kind of thing? So people start talking freely and openly about things that are not exactly what they want, but they desire. They desire tranquility, they desire a place to rest, they desire a place to not hear the traffic. They desire a place to play with their dogs, to play with their kids, for their kids to be safe. So that's the way to give architects and landscape architects ideas, but not directions. The creative process of the architects, the design creative process of the architects and landscape architects, for us in the urban anthropology department is very important. We need them to be creative, not to be constrained, but we need them, and they need also to work with what the people actually desires. So we try to do that translation. It's actually very, very difficult, but very interesting. And in this part of the process, also the neighbors work together, and some differences between them arises and are solved in the workshops we put on. All this kind of work is in workshops with tables of about 8 to 12 neighbors and 2 moderators in each table. And we are now doing that virtually with the breakout rooms of Zoom, you already know very well. And that kind of work makes all the tables in every table, neighbors know each other, discuss what they want, and discuss what they desire, and discuss what they imagine for the future of their place. And lots of I'm lost of words again. Consensus, sorry. Lots of consensus arises in every table and between different tables in every workshop. So people end up working with each other's ideas and feeding the ideas with each other's ideas, and it's a very rich process that yields very good results for us. And the idea of the public policy creates involvement of the people and a lot of engagement with all the process from the start to the end. And that's what Álvaro said about neighbors taking ownership of the project and the work. They even go to the works when the new public space is being done. And in one case, they asked for a group photo with all the workers that was involved in the process. It was very nice and very engaging for the workers too. So the process is very complete from this point of view. And some of you said you were interested in environmental sustainability. For us, that's very important, and this process is something we are thinking about as social sustainability for the process, kind of other leg of the process. You have always
also the gender agenda, no?
Yeah, actually very important. In several projects we consider the gender agenda, and for example, we when we plan the different workshops, we plan some specifically for women, or one to go with children activities. So all the women that usually took more time of caring, took the responsibility of care from children, can go with their own kids to the activities instead of just going just her
Husbands.
Esposo, sí. Going to, so they can go with the children, and we incorporate children's ideas into the project too. We create a table specifically for children. They draw and they present to every other table what are their ideas, and that's also very engaging because their mothers and fathers are sitting there and start considering their own children's ideas between what they already told in the workshop. So for us, it's kind of a different layered approach. We took also the age agenda. We try to have a diversity of ages represented. So there's no single view. So there's a balance of gender, a balance of age, or at least we try balance of age, and considering all these things in the workshops, and try to mix the neighborhoods and engage them through all the project, through all the process of the public policy and the works afterwards. We have a last kind of activity. It's co-design. For us, co-design is kind of a very guided activity. We don't do that many times. We do that when we have very complicated scenarios surely in slums or places of the city where local knowledge is actually incredibly important, and constraints of space and maybe budget, but mostly space, is actually very, very high. So I work with the people they took ownership of the project, and this guide is the guided design. The design team select different possibilities. I don't know, different kind of trees, different kind of benches and seats and tables, and different sports activity possible, like football, tennis, mini court, or ping pong tables, and work closely with the people, deciding where every one of these things will go in this place. How many trees and where, how many benches are where, how many tables and where, etc., etc., etc. It's a kind of a direct translation to the architectural project from what people is asking. In these cases are very few. We have, I think we have only one example we actually did this. But for us, it's kind of a methodology we have in mind when things are so complicated and local knowledge is so important, and people need so badly to directly decide where things go. We have this methodology prepared for the kinds of scenarios. When we did it, it worked very, very well, and people were very happy to be able to decide these minimal things about the project. And this is a project we like a lot. This is the White Elephant. This building was called the White Elephant, or the Little Hospital, Hospitalito, for the people who live there. It was a tuberculosis hospital started to be built in 1938, and was stopped. The works were stopped in different moments in time, but in 1955 the work stopped at all, and it started to get degraded very fast. A slum formed around it. It was intruded several times. It had a lot of problems, a lot of hygiene problems, a lot of environmental problems. It has rats, contamination. It actually was a hazard, a structural hazard, because structurally wasn't actually very intact. There was a risk of falling down, and we work with the people around it, ask them what they think about this building, what they want in that place, And well, this is actually what happened after. We have a park in a neighborhood that actually badly needed a park. It actually needed a lot of things, not only a park, but the only thing you can put there that was actually impossible to put anywhere else in this neighborhood was a park. So we put a park. And also the new ministry to provide different kinds of services, even a bank branch open there, so people have different kinds of services associated to the building and an economic work as an economic engine for the neighborhood too. And the park has different kinds of activities, and also there has different places for children to play, because when we did the activities and the workshops with the neighborhoods, as Álvaro said earlier about the gender agenda, it was very important for women in this neighborhood to have a place for their children to play. This neighborhood didn't have any place for children. Have all the places that it had, here you can see one of them, were football courts that male adults used almost every day, almost at every hour, but children just didn't have a place to play. And women didn't have a place to play. And older people didn't have a place to rest or to do anything else that wasn't watch young males playing football. So the program, yeah. Álvaro?
No, sorry, I said that it's soccer, and you can, and the other thing is they can play safe in everywhere there, no? So the mothers and the children, they are always with eye contact into the park, no?
Yeah, and the park, because the slum form around the old building, the park ended up being quite accessible for all the neighbors around it. So it has it was actually a very interesting project, and the discussion between the neighbors about what qualities this park should have were very interesting, and for us quite a learning experience. So it's a very, very nice project. And well, that's all now. We can go to questions if you want.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aníbal, Álvaro, and Irina for the presentation. I really know that the language limitations in the case of Álvaro, not in the case of Aníbal, who speaks well, and well, my modest opinion, of course, and Irina, kind of limits a little bit the possibility of the power of the ideas that they are working on. I am absolutely sure, because I've heard this, not I've heard, we have talked about this many times, of course in Spanish. But what I think it's interesting is that the whole idea of linking anthropology with architecture, which is something that many architectural specialists, critics, academics are asking themselves, and I don't know if anthropologists are asking themselves in general, which are the links. It seems that they are cousins. It seems that architecture and anthropology, as they have people in the center of the job, of the objectives, should have more links actually, and should be associated in many aspects. And when we hear about people participation in projects, in general, it's 1 or 2 minutes of people saying something about a project already designed. But it is more than a project already designed. It's the problem already designed. Is the reading of the place, reading of the problem, identifying the issues that provoke the need of a transformation, in this moment starts the process of design, actually. It doesn't start when you have a program written by who knows who or architects, that I can say it because I know perfectly how it works. Before asking anybody, architects know what they have to look at and decide, actually. I think that the key issue probably there are two moments. How you include communities, if we can define communities, and this is one of my questions. And what are you asking them? I think that your differentiation before what you need and what to desire, it's a very powerful one. And the other moment, the other crucial moment is how you, once you define the activities, how you create the envelope, how you create the shapes that has to contain these activities. And I don't know, I think it's an interesting experience, but I don't want to talk more. I would like the students to think a little bit which are the main questions that you can identify, and then to interview Álvaro and his team. What do you think if we give 10 minutes for I will create automatically breakout rooms, and you can discuss among yourself which are the main questions, the main issues that for you it's interesting to ask to this team. Then, I hope some people shaking heads. Yeah, it's okay. Good, thank you. Great. And I will create 3 rooms, and I will take out from the rooms when it will be created, I will take out the teams for you to be able to, the Buenos Aires team, you to be able to work on this. We will recreate this. No, automatically 5 participants per room. Okay. Open all rooms. We'll see what happens now. This room is okay. Aníbal, I will move you out.
I'm okay. I'm here.
Okay. Then you not joined. Good. Not joined. Perfect. Okay.
I think Álvaro went to the room.
Álvaro. Move to. No, we have to tell him he has to go out. But anyway. Oh.
Okay.
No, can you, ¿le podés mandar un WhatsApp que se vaya?
Sí.
Que diga que se va. I'm sure he's talking there.
Sí.
Ok, lo dejamos.
Bueno, le escribí por privado para avisarle, pero quizás se queda, no lo sé.
Quizás no te ve. Bueno, dejémoslo hablar ahí. Bien. Había un tema que me parecía interesante, pero no lo quería meter ahora, que es ustedes tenían un gráfico espectacular, que era como un redondel,
Mira, lo tengo acá, hoy lo mostramos, lo que pasa es que le cambiamos la forma. A ver, lo vuelvo a poner en pantalla, ¿eh? A ver
Dale.
si... qué complicado.
Tenía un gráfico azul, me lo acuerdo como el día de hoy.
Claro, lo que nosotros tenemos ahora es este, que es lo mismo, pero solamente que la parte que estaba arriba, ahora arriba está el proyecto, y acá está como la parte que antes estaba arriba era estas dos. Y estas dos eran las que estaban abajo. La idea es cómo se va construyendo el proyecto hasta suceder, pasando por la parte invisible, digamos, ¿no? Que es la legal y el consenso.
Sí, sí. No sé por qué a mí me había parecido ese círculo partido en dos, que se podía dar vuelta, buenísimo. Sí, quizás necesita un poco más de explicación, porque es un montón de información para verla toda junta.
Sí,
Y te digo
nos
que
matamos.
yo conozco el tema y estoy tratando de ubicarme.
No,
pero
es
quizás
que,
podemos volver a en algún momento y que lo expliquen un poquito más. Porque es
bien,
como el trabajo invisible, digamos, ¿no? O sea, son las actividades previas al proyecto.
exactamente. La metáfora visual de cómo explicar esto siempre nos resultó difícil de encontrar.
Claro,
El
claro.
círculo está bueno, pero da cierta sensación de cuestión cíclica también, y de cierto orden, en el sentido horario, que uno está acostumbrado a mirar los círculos,
Cierto.
que no necesariamente tiene. Entonces era una metáfora que tenía sus complejidades. Esta por ahí es más clara en cuanto que las cosas se van solapando y mezclando por el tema de los colores que se mezclan, pero por ahí la metáfora no es tan cómoda de leer como la otra, de que hay dos como partes interconectadas, ¿no? La parte del proyecto de arquitectura y de obra y la parte de arquitectura del proyecto. Todavía hay que buscarle la vuelta, estamos dándole vueltas y vueltas, porque la metáfora visual es difícil.
De todas maneras, gracias porque me llevo un gran feedback de esto para seguir trabajándolo con el equipo de diseño, que lo venimos trabajando fuertemente, así que me sirve un montón, Margarita, tu feedback. Muchas gracias.
No, uno se mete donde no la llaman, pero...
No, pero es buenísimo, porque, sobre todo porque vos lo conocés y lo entendés, entonces nos podés contar qué sensación te da, porque muchas veces pasa que las personas no lo conocen, entonces, bueno, este feedback nos da un montón.
Sí, y otra cosa que me parecería muy interesante que comenten, yo te digo, Álvaro hablando en castellano es un camión, sí. Y él mismo se para hablando en inglés, ya está claro. Pero bueno, ya la lengua se afloja. Y vos, Aníbal, hablas bien, y vos, Irina, también, por lo menos con fluidez y podés animarte a decir cosas. Yo me acuerdo que Jordi Borja siempre decía, una vez vino acá, estuvo parando en casa porque daba clases en Pratt Institute, y nos hacía matar de risa, porque en inglés decía que solo se animaba a decir lo que le salían las palabras en inglés. Sí.
Es que es verdad, en algún momento del aprendizaje del idioma solo decís aquello para lo que tenés vocabulario y tu vocabulario es limitado, entonces te comunicás poquitito. Y después vas encontrando vocabulario. A mí me cuesta todavía hablar fluido. Tengo momentos en que pierdo una palabra y como que, viste, me quedo ahí, que no arranco, pero últimamente tuve muchas oportunidades de practicarlo, por eso estoy más o menos afilado. Me viene pasando muy seguido tener reuniones en inglés.
Sí, buenísimo. Sí, no hay como hablar, obviamente. Y después me parecía interesante lo que ustedes habían propuesto de utilizar los espacios abiertos de las instituciones públicas para uso para uso público, como los parques de los hospitales y otros más, que me pareció muy interesante esa propuesta que en algún momento se le escuché a Álvaro, ¿no? Vamos a ver
Sí.
con qué preguntas salen los estudiantes. Hay algunas que vienen de la arquitectura directamente y otras de psicología, otros de... Son estudiantes muy jovencitos, como ustedes ven, son estudiantes de grado, no son estudiantes de posgrado. Pero de todos modos funcionan muy bien, sus posts y trabajos son realmente interesantes. Vamos a esperar 2 minutos más y los voy a hacer volver, así tenemos unos 20 minutos más para hablar con ustedes. Y desde ya les agradezco un montón.
No, a mí me encantan este tipo de cosas, me divierto un montón. Y creo que las preguntas van a ser lo más divertido de todo.
Y vamos a ver con qué se vienen, porque en las preguntas ellos han leído, ustedes vieron lo que ellos leyeron, que es un reporte de los trabajos de ustedes y un prólogo a una revista que trabaja sobre, un número de una revista que trabaja sobre arquitectura y antropología, y poniendo en crisis la arquitectura, y llegando a la conclusión de que la única salvación de la arquitectura es trabajarla como un sistema relacional. Y ahí se acerca muchísimo a lo que ustedes plantean. Se las súper recomiendo, porque tiene un trabajo, el último que se los di, recomendé a los estudiantes porque era larguísimo y excedía un poco lo que van a leer al fin y al cabo, porque pues, si le das mucho no lo leen, así de simple. Que es súper interesante, que les voy a mandar el file.
Dale, me súper interesa, la verdad, me encantaría leerlo.
Es súper.
Yo lo leí cuando buscaba material sobre antropología y arquitectura, así, buscando a lo loco en la web, ¿no? Porque por supuesto estaba afuera en el campo y sin nada, lo único que tenía era la pantalla. Entonces tuve que buscar los readings ahí. Y fue muy interesante, porque jamás hubiera encontrado una cosa así si no la buscaba así azarosamente. Voy a cerrar los grupos. En un minuto van a volver y vamos a ver a Álvaro, que quedó varado, parado con un grupo. Espero que sepa que tiene que salir.
No, si no lo sacas solo, me parece.
Sí, lo saca solo. Good. Great. We lost Álvaro? No. Oh, yeah, he's here. Good. Álvaro, you will not take...
You know, I always be late.
Yeah, you are always late.
Yeah, and now virtually too.
Okay, I hope that Kate, Tizzy, and Liz, you enjoy having Álvaro in your group. It was very funny because we forgot to tell Álvaro that he has to ask to be out as the other two.
But don't worry, we talk a lot.
Yeah, I am sure. I'm sure.
And I really enjoy it.
And then we were laughing a lot, saying, I'm sure you are taking advantage of it. Yeah. Okay, people. I think we are all back. I think. Then, from the first group of, we will go in order. Elena, Jacob, Maddie, Ruby, and Tracy. What are the questions you want to put to this team of practitioners and architects and anthropologists and communicators working hands-on on a big city in issues of public space? Elena, go ahead.
One question that we talked about was
we were wondering if you ever had any projects where there was backlash from the community, even though you may have done extensive research and polling on what the community wanted and how you dealt with that or fixed issues.
Mhm.
Sorry, Aníbal?
Yeah, I can answer that. Backlash, if I didn't understood wrong. You mean, okay. Actually, no, but as several things that are bound to be happen sometimes, I will say not yet. For me, it's a possibility. It's always a possibility to have a backlash in the community that doesn't like a project. In fact, we have the different projects we have projects that are very, very, very loved by the people, projects that are not so much loved. They are very used and people like, and the people involved in the project is very happy, but maybe the outcome is not the best possible outcome. But I think having the best possible outcome is actually something like ethereal. It's impossible. You have the best outcome possible. So the best you can achieve. So we didn't have backlash yet from a community saying we don't like that project. It's I don't know. It's that I can answer now. It's that something because the process, something because how things work in Buenos Aires. I think it's a process, but I think we need, I don't know, 5, 6 more cases to build up actually a big case base to study and provide answers to that kind of questions.
Good. Then we will ask a question to the other group, and then we will go back to room 1. Then from room 2, Annabelle, Antoine, Elizabeth, Marina, would you like to formulate?
Yeah.
Or
So
more questions?
one of the questions we had was about the community engagement groups. So where are these sessions being held and what times are these being held? Because we were thinking about like the different groups that were involved. Like if you do it within the hours of the working class, you can't really involve them. So we were just wondering like when and where.
Well, I will. Where is some place usually public and or semi-public or private, but always 100% accessible near the place of the future park. So we talk with schools, clubs, community centers, etc., that are near the place where the intervention will take place, and usually no more than 300 meters away, because one of the questions from Margarita earlier, how we define communities, which is very difficult in Buenos Aires, mostly by proximity and self-defined communities. So we have self-defined communities, communities of interest, mostly interest in the project, that's our first community, and all close neighborhoods are the second community. So we look for places which are actually accessible and near the place we want to do intervention. And about times, yes, we took in consideration working class times, and we have activities on Saturday or after working hours, after 6 p.m., usually 7 p.m. onwards.
In relation to this, it was an observation that Álvaro made in relation to the gender approach. I remember that Álvaro was telling us that they changed the time of the meeting for mothers that they can come during the afternoon, for instance. Some people, of course, not the working mothers, of course, but the staying home mothers could come during the early afternoon and propose different activities, like places for kids, instead of having only a soccer older males ownership, actually. what other, another question by the other room, 3, the one who were with
My group.
Yeah, Álvaro, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, but my group is going to answer. Okay.
Oh, great, good.
Can I?
Yes.
Well, my group was Easy, Liz, and Kate. Yeah, there she is. And we was talking I was talking, sorry, about the concept of the important, it's very important for us how we link the political aspect in terms of public policy and opposition and officialism, and the important thing that we work with the people and the power or the empowerment that the people in our times have with the project. So my question is, why is so important for the public policy makers to work with them at the beginning of the process?
I can start. There is always strength in numbers when you have the community on your side. You use the like analogy of if there's one politician with political interests versus a plan that the community has backed, you have much more power with a community who's already agreed with your plan than one politician. So that's part of it, if somebody wants to add.
Someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you kind of were discussing sort of kind of rephrasing hers as well. You know, if you talked about sort of like where you find the money of these projects. If you have the money and you have the community, you get it done. If you don't have the money and you don't have the community, there's no way. You have the money but don't have the community, it won't work out either. But if you have the community, then the money will find itself. And I think that was really interesting because we also discussed sort of how that translates to the US. And I think that is true, but I don't know. I think that we definitely need a lot more community engagement in our public policy for sure, especially when it comes to urban design and planning. And I think that at least I think that in the US, we sort of pretend that the community doesn't have power. We're sort of taught that it doesn't always work, but I think that we've seen that we can and we will. That was just my comment.
Good.
Yeah, I would say like you also mentioned how easy it becomes to see like the politicians' like intentions come forth, right? So like if they don't have the people behind them, there's no way that you can really have the project be done. And I guess it's kind of reiterating what Izzy says, but it brings an empowering level. And I mean, it gives me optimism in America's system that we could find a good equilibrium of having that dialogue rather than like a talking at. So yeah, I guess that would be my comment.
It's a big issue when we talk about community, no? Because in general, when there is a problem, there is a possibility of being created a community of interest, or in relation to a project, to a problem, to a risk, to an hazard, etc. I would like to ask a question that I think could be interesting. How from your secretary or ministry, I don't know exactly what it is now in this moment, how I want to say, as your triple kind of identity of an academic, a citizen, and a public official, do you responded did you respond, or are you responding to the catastrophe of the COVID-19?
Well, it's a very good question, Margarita. First, the COVID-19 was a point of some change in the propose of the urban anthropology team, no? Because we used to study the cities as a line, no? As a timeline, and we study the point in the history that this timeline was like a big change, but I think we never leave the point of change as now. So we, with the urban anthropology team, we react very quick with the COVID-19, and Aníbal now is going to tell you maybe the methodology, but we started working at the, well, here in Buenos Aires was in March, when we have to be in our homes as a public, as a public policy, and we start asking the people in his houses how are they living the pandemic and also the insularization, no?
Quarantine.
Well,
isolation.
Yeah. So we work a lot in a very big document with a lot of information, and we really put the focus to study the phenomenon of the pandemic and the social aspects and outcomes in the people, no, in the people life. The people was in a very short period of time. The people was including and changing a lot of behaviors that from many years they was doing the same way, no? So we are studying how the people is going to live in the future, not in what city they are going to live. We are studying how they are going to live, and then we are going to think the city to fit with these changes. But maybe Aníbal can be some more specific about the strategy, no?
Yeah, and what we asked people how they were feeling, how they were coping with the, as I was saying, isolation, how different places, for example, how they changed their perception about what a crowded place was and what type of crowded places they think were near their homes. We asked people how they feel about home office and home studying, and find out, for example, considering the future outcomes of this, every place we are reading about the end of the office building, no more offices, everyone goes to work from their homes. Okay, but when we ask people about what they think about home office, you find out they are not so happy about it. Some people is happy about home office and some people is not, and it has a lot to do has a lot of relation about how many time you have to use in your house for your kids, for housekeeping, for taking care and carrying activities of other people's kids or otherwise. And actually, about half the people thinks home office is not better than working in an office. So maybe the companies are very sure they don't want to pay any more rent for offices, but workers are not so sure they don't want any more offices. So we expect to have a different kind of, if you say slow changes, maybe it's kind of a very fast change now and then go to a new normal in a few months or few years, when these kind of trends start to match each other and and create a new final trend. So it's actually a very complex situation for the future. And we also work with other areas of the city, asking people how the policy, the quarantine policy here was very strict, and was the opening of public space was very slow. So we have time to ask people how they feel about going to a park after they were in their houses for about 2 months or 3 months. How they feel safe, what makes them feel safe, what makes them feel unsafe, what they want, what new spaces they want, etc. And we work with that to create and get information for the final policy of opening public spaces in the city, which is actually unraveling right now.
Great.
Let me say thank you. Something, Marga. We have a document. If I remember well, we share with you and Mike.
I remember.
Yeah. So if you want, we can send you the document. Okay. I think it's in Spanish, but it's very simple to translate because it's more numbers than letters. And maybe we can do something with this in terms of academic, because if you Google urban anthropology, urban planning and anthropology, there's an interesting link that the Ash Center of the Harvard School, the Kennedy School, we can share you the link. Maybe Irina is going to share you. They made an article about the performance of the urban anthropology team in Buenos Aires in terms of COVID-19. So I think really maybe we can do something in terms of share the document with the new school, because or make the same document for the US territory, because I think we can transfer the methodology and something like that. Maybe it's for an action together. If you want, we can talk about later.
Yeah, but this is what the students read for today. This is the Betsy Gardner article you are referring to.
Yeah, the Betsy Gardner. Yeah, they read. Okay.
Urban planning and COVID-19 resilience.
Yeah.
From Buenos Aires. Yeah, the students read for today.
Well, this article has the document, but in resume is okay. A short sample of the document. So we are going to share you the complete document, so you can complete the information.
Great. And I will ask you something. I remember you sent us the first results and interpretation of this review that you have done. And I thought that you were doing a second one. Did you do it?
Yeah, we are in the third one.
Oh, good.
Today, yeah, we have three steps of reviews. There maybe about, decime si no me equivoco, Aníbal, in total we ask maybe
almost 50,000 people.
Yeah, and we have the conclusion of the 3 steps. So we can send you all the information.
Yeah, this will be great. And
okay.
You did it by email or by WhatsApp?
That you prefer, the one.
No. If you did the survey by email or
in many channels, Aníbal, you can.
Yeah, many channels. Mostly it was via email, but there was other channels too. and the target was open, so people could share the link between themselves. So it actually could, the potentiality to go viral. It wasn't as interesting as a cat meme, so it didn't go viral, but it could have gone viral. We expect to have impact in the next in the next steps. It don't have a date yet because we are expecting the things to stop unravel that fast to ask again for people.
Sure. Well, thank you people very much. Thank you, Álvaro, because for the generosity of sharing your experience. And thank you, Irina and Aníbal. Then I think we need an applause for our presentators. Good. And I think that Álvaro sent his contact in the chat that you can
you can use it. Yeah. Sorry, you can use it when you want, and I maybe you have to give me some time to respond sometimes, but I respond everything. And let me say thank you, Marga, to you and the students because of the patience with my English and please send a big hug to Mike.
Sure.
I am very happy that you are okay and in the city.
Sure.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and we are available for you whenever you want.
Great. Well, thank you very much, students. We will see each other next Tuesday. I will send you through the announcements the asynchronous activities. Remember that in 2 weeks the assignment 6 is due. And next week you will have to look at the video lesson and prepare, read a couple of one of the 2 of the readings, and you will prepare informed questions to our guest speaker next week. Okay, bye people, have a very good week.
Bye, thank you a lot.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, thank you so much.
Aníbal and Álvaro, se quedan un minuto.
Vale.
Good.
Álvaro,
Aníbal
salió, pero lo llamo.
I will stop recording. Wait a sec. Yeah.